Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So first of all, thank you to everybody who responded to our last video. If you don't know, we got a new camera. We are slowly starting to replace everything in the setup. I feel like we got the lighting a little bit better this time. It was a tad bit dark in the last video, so just bear with us as we get our setup figured out. But I'm glad you guys like the new camera and the new lens. I'm glad that you guys felt like things were clearer. That's ultimately my goal with my videos. I want it to be as true to color and as realistic as possible, if not more clear than what it looks like in person, just to help you guys out with products and to really showcase the makeup look. Also, side note, I totally meant to paint my nails today. It was on my to-do list. Then I went and gathered all my products for this video. I sat down and realized that I didn't get to it. So I'm sorry about the strange manicure. I was testing out a bunch of polishes. I do that sometimes, like when I'm needing to repaint my nails, I can't figure out what color I want sometimes, so I'll just grab a few and paint swatches, and that's what happens. So excuse the strange nails, but today I wanted to sit down and film a video using makeup that makes me feel good. I was thinking about what it is about makeup that makes me want to get ready anytime that I feel like getting ready, and it really does come down to how it makes me feel. I know that you guys also feel the same way. Makeup can boost your confidence. Makeup can make you feel empowered. I also feel like, though, on the other side, it can be like a little bit more of a gentle boost. And so that's what I was kind of wanting to showcase today, were the products that just made me feel good. Like, I just feel kind of cute when I wear them. Do you know what I mean? And also, I realized when I was gathering these products, I think a lot of them make me feel good because they have some sort of a memory attached to them as well, or the smell of them as I apply them makes me feel good. So that's what we're gonna do today. I'm just gonna start off with my complexion. I'm gonna be using something that really does make me feel really good when I wear this. It's the Becca Cosmetics Backlight Priming Filter. I think this is one of those products that makes me feel good because when I apply it, it just takes me back, you know, like the smell and everything. Plus, it just gives such a beautiful lit from within glow, which is everything that I'm personally looking for when I want to feel good. I want my makeup to make me look healthy, and I feel like a product like this always does that underneath your makeup, so I knew I wanted to use that one. For foundation, I just love this so much. It's the ColourPop Pretty... I can't take my nails seriously, I gotta switch hands. But it's the ColourPop Pretty Fresh Hyaluronic Hydrating Foundation. This makes me feel so beautiful. I love how the coverage is buildable. It looks so natural and it wears so well on me all day long. I'm gonna mix two shades. I'm mixing Fair 25W and Light 40N. One shade that matches me really well is Light 45W, I believe. I'll make sure to link that shade down below so you don't have to mix two shades if you are similar in tone to me. But I'm just gonna mix the two on the back of my hand, and I'm gonna start to apply this with my foundation brush. And before dipping back into what's left on the back of my hand, I'm just gonna really spread this out on the skin, because again, I'm going for something that makes me look like me, but a little bit elevated. I always like to reach for products that are really reliable in a situation like this. Because when I'm trying new products, for example, I don't always feel good. I mean, I might, but I'm usually kind of preoccupied wondering how it's wearing and stuff like that. So using products that I'm familiar with really helps me to feel good when it comes to my makeup look. So I'm just taking my sponge, and I did pick up what was left on the back of my hand to create a little bit of a barrier. And I'm just gonna press this into the complexion. I'm making sure to kind of apply the excess in this inner corner here, just to kind of start to cancel out any darkness. Okay, so far so good. I feel like my complexion looks nice and even and glowy, but it's not too much and not too over the top, and it also feels really nice on the skin, which is always a plus. For concealer, I really wanted to use my NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer. This is just such a good concealer for every day when you just want to look fresh and you want a little bit of concealer underneath the eyes, but you don't want to worry about it being too drying or too cakey. It's just so good. So I'm going to go ahead and take the shade Light 2 Vanilla, and I'm just going to kind of focus this. I probably should have showed you before I did that, but maybe I can show you on this side. So you see where I have a little bit of hollowness and discoloration right here? I'm just going to take the concealer and literally follow that line right here to just kind of brighten things up. That way I'm not taking too much product into the areas where my under eyes tend to crease. And I'm just gonna start blending that out with a sponge first, keeping to that same shape where I applied it initially. And then I'm gonna take what's left and bring it closer to the eye, so I don't overload that area with product. Again, same thing, I'm also kind of taking what's left and trying to cancel out this inner corner here. Since I do have quite a bit of discoloration there, a lot of us do, so I always want to make sure that area is nice and bright as well. I'm not going to worry about covering up blemishes too much. Like I said in previous videos, I just haven't really been caring as much. You know, if like a little bit of my skin shows through, so what? It looks more natural that way. I'm honestly becoming more comfortable with the look of normal skin. Do you know what I mean? Like my skin isn't flawless. You guys know I have hyperpigmentation and I struggle with breakouts still. I have for over a decade now. And I'm just kind of like learning to embrace some of that a little bit more. Obviously, I still love wearing makeup, and this is definitely a medium coverage foundation, so my complexion looks nice and evened out, but I'm not so concerned about every little thing being completely flat and flawless anymore. I just brighten up the under eyes and continue on with my makeup routine these days. For powder, I'm going to use one that I have just been obsessed with. It's the Ciate London Everyday Vacay powder. It's so good. I'm going to take that on a small brush, and I'm just going to start pressing it into the under eye area to lock in that concealer. I should mention too, there's something about this combination of concealer and powder, the NARS Radiant Creamy with this powder on top. I don't know what it is, but I find that these formulas work so beautifully together, and I think they look so natural. I don't know. I've noticed that every time I wear these two things together, they just look really good. I always like to take my sponge and kind of press down underneath the eye area after applying powder to get rid of any excess powder. I find that that helps keep things more natural and more smooth. I'm also just taking that same powder and kind of starting to press it into the T-zone a little bit, through the brows as well. And I'm going to take what's left and make sure the eyelids aren't too tacky. Then I'm going to take a fluffier brush and just kind of take a little bit of that same powder and set the outer portions of the face. Also setting the neck as well, since I did drag the foundation down. Going back into my sponge and just gently pressing across the entire complexion, again, for that same effect of just smoothing out the skin. I think doing this step really makes a huge difference for me. If you haven't ever tried it, you definitely should. All right, so for bronzer, we're gonna warm up the complexion with a bronzer that genuinely, I think again, it's just a throwback product that makes me feel good. Plus it's such a good product, it never gets old to me. It's this right here, the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. You guys know how much I love this. I know how much you love this. The smell, that's just what makes me so happy. It smells so good. I can never not smell this bronzer when I apply it. It's just so good. I'm taking that on my bronzer brush and just starting to dust it across the cheeks and across the forehead. I can tend to be pretty heavy-handed with bronzer, so I'm gonna try to keep it a little lighter just to go with like that softer look that makes me feel really pretty. So just enough to like bring back some definition, but not too much, you know? A little more on the forehead, I guess. I can't not add more bronzer to my forehead. I'm gonna go ahead and kind of blend out the cheek area with the powder brush we were using. I just want this bronzer to be really, really soft and diffused. I think I'll do blush first. I usually like to do highlighter first, but I just want to see how much highlighter I would even need. So for blush, I love this so much. It's the Hourglass blush, and this one is in the shade Sublime Flush. It's got peach with a little lavender inside, and it's just stunning. It definitely has a radiance to it. So if you're somebody who doesn't want to emphasize any texture on your cheeks, you might not like these. I find that these though, even though I sometimes do have texture on the cheeks, it doesn't emphasize it too much, but just know that it is a glowier type of a blush. So I'm just going to take this and apply it to the apples of the cheeks, blending it up and back so that the bronzer and blush kind of look seamless. And then I always go back in with either my sponge or my brush and just go around the edges just to soften it a little bit. Okay, for highlighter, I just love the Dior highlighters. There's something about them that really makes me feel so good when I use them. I know that they're gonna look good all day long in natural light, at home, underneath just like can lights, it's gonna look good. So that's the one thing that I really, really enjoy about these palettes. I have two shades. I'm not sure which one I'm gonna use. This is the original 001 Universal palette, but I also recently picked up the 004 Rose Gold palette. I think I might go with the Rose Gold palette just because I want something a little more pink. So I'm gonna go into this shade right here at the bottom, which has a little bit of a soft pink undertone. There's not much glitter in this one. They have a couple of shades that are a little more on the glittery side. So I'm choosing the most soft shade in this palette and applying this in a C shape around the cheeks. I hope you can see that pretty pink shift. I'm gonna go down the center of the face as well and the cupid's bow with this. So far so good. I'm gonna go ahead and fill in the brows with a brow pencil that always makes me feel good. This is the Benefit Precisely My Brow Pencil in the shade 4. I'm not gonna bore you guys with this, so I'm just gonna do it off camera and then we'll be back to do a really quick eye look. All right, brows are filled in for now. I might touch them up later. Let's do a quick eye look. I wanted to use this because I've been reaching for it a lot more recently, and every time I wear it, it's foolproof. I love it, and it's really easy. It takes all the guesswork out of your eyeshadow look because it's like pretty compact. There's only 4 shades in this palette. It's this right here from Charlotte Tilbury. This is the Luxury palette in the shade Pillow Talk. So it's full of these gorgeous soft pink shades and there's a little pop of glitter. I personally love wearing a little bit of glitter on an everyday basis, so I really love this. I'm gonna start by taking the matte light pink shade on the top right corner. I'm gonna tap off the excess and I'm just gonna start to work this into the crease a little bit, just as my transition shade. These palettes are honestly pretty pricey, but if you find the right one for you where it's colors that are really flattering for you, I feel like it's honestly worth the investment. It took me so long to buy my first Charlotte Tilbury quad because I didn't know if it was worth it, and what I've learned is that it truly is about choosing one that you're going to use a lot, because I've spent money on other quads from Charlotte Tilbury that I just don't get as much use out of, and in a situation like that I don't feel like it would be worth it, but this Pillow Talk one I get a lot of use out of. And again, it's just foolproof. Like, you can't really mess up with these shades. I'm taking that same brush and just pinching it and applying this to the lower lash line, dipping into the shade underneath, which is a little bit of a deeper kind of rosy brown shade. And I'm just gonna kind of create some slight definition on the outer corner. This is such a good palette for when I'm like needing to figure out what I'm gonna do with my eyes, but I don't have that much time. But it's a situation where like I wanna wear eyeshadow. I love reaching for a palette like this because again, it just takes out the guesswork, which is so nice. Taking that same brush, I get lazy with my lower lash line, so I literally just take the same brush I'm using and I pinch it. I'm gonna connect it to the corner so that it all flows together. Okay, now I'm gonna take this shimmer shade right here on a flat brush, and I'm going to start to apply this all over the lid. I'm going to focus most of this in the inner corner of the eye and a bit on the brow bone, but I also like to apply it on the lid to kind of create a little bit of a shimmery base before we apply that glitter shade. Oh, and I also am going to take it along this lower lash line about 1/3 of the way across. Okay, last but not least, my favorite part is this glitter shade. So I'm just gonna dip into this using my finger, which is always the best way to apply these shades. And I'm gonna just kind of press this onto the lid, layering it up until I have as much glitter as I want. Sometimes I'll go pretty soft with the glitter, other times I'll build it up quite a bit. Just depends on my mood. I think it's so pretty though, I love this. The nice thing is too, if you're someone who doesn't like to wear like a glittery shimmer like this on an everyday basis, like I do, you could always stop at just the shimmer and apply mascara, and that'd be a great look for every day too. All right, I'm going back in with the powder brush that I used underneath the eyes, just to kind of make sure that the lower lash line is blended and that there's not any fallout. All right, mascara. I'm loving the Maybelline Lash Sensational Mascara still. It's so good and just foolproof for every day. So I'm gonna apply this to the top and bottom lashes. And you know what? A lot of mascara makes me feel good, so I'm gonna really layer it up. Okay, I got a little bit of mascara on the lid and on the lower lash line. I will clean that up later. We're gonna go ahead and do the lips, and then I'm gonna go back and add a little bit more bronzer. Here's the lip liner I chose. It's from KKW Beauty, and it's the nude lip liner in the shade 0. Wait, I wanted 0.5. Okay, I thought I had grabbed the right shade of lip liner, but it looks like I didn't. I hope I have it in here. I'm gonna be upset if it's not in this bundle because I don't know where it is. If it's not here. I don't have the lip liner in here, you guys. Makes me a little bit sad. I was looking for the KKW Nude 0.5 lip liner. I have 2 of them. It must be in my purse somewhere. Okay, well, I'm gonna find my second best thing and I'll be right back. All right, instead, I chose a lip liner that goes with the gloss that I was gonna wear, so it works out this way anyway. It's this one right here. It's the Alamar Cosmetics lip liner in the shade Birthday Suit. It's so beautiful. So I'm gonna line and fill in the lips with this. And then I'm of course going to use the Alamar Cosmetics Birthday Suit lip gloss. I think they just recently changed the packaging on all of these glosses, but I'm just gonna use up the one that I have. And I'm going to apply this all over the lips. This gloss makes me feel good because it stays so glossy all day. It is a little bit more of a sticky gloss, but that's kind of what I like about it. And honestly, I feel like that's what gives it its longevity. I am feeling so much better already. It really is amazing what like makeup can do if you're wearing products that you love and if it's a look that you feel good in, you know? It really makes all the difference. I'm gonna go ahead and add a little more bronzer. It wouldn't be a video of mine if I didn't. So I'm just gonna go ahead and add more to the forehead, a little more to the jawline. And then I'm gonna take what's left on the blush brush and just add a teensy bit more of this. I'm a blush girl. I really like my blush to be pretty visible on the cheeks. And then for setting spray, I really wanted to use an oldie but a goodie. This is MAC Fix Plus. I'm literally at the very bottom. But I wanted to choose this because it really does kind of add a glow and hydration. It makes my makeup melt into the skin and I like the smell of it. It makes me feel good that way too. So I'm just gonna spray this. Oh, it's at the bottom, so it's kind of spitting at me. I love how it smells. Oh, I have my fan here. Here we go, little handy fan. And then of course, once it's almost dry, I always like to go back in with my sponge one more time, just to really get rid of any excess powders. It also helps my highlighter pop a little more, making sure I brush off the mascara marks. And then also, I need my Benefit 24-Hour Brow Setter to feel good. I don't want my brows going everywhere, and this definitely locks them in place all day. So I'm just gonna run that through the brows. All right, so that completes this makeup look. I love how it turned out. I hope you guys do too. These products are genuinely products that I feel so good wearing. This is my favorite type of makeup look to wear with lounge sets, which is basically my uniform and has been for several months since being at home so much. Sweatpants, even pajamas. I mean, if you want to do like a glam pajama day, this would be a good makeup look for that as well. I would love to know in the comments if there's a certain product that makes you guys feel good. What do you reach for? Especially while a lot of us are still at home, and when you do feel like applying makeup, what is it that you're reaching for? I would love to know in the comments. If you're new here, hi, my name is Allie, and I would love for you to join the family. You can do so by hitting the subscribe button, and if you're already a subscriber, but you want to be notified on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, click on the bell after you subscribe and you'll get a notification every single time I post. That's it for me today. I hope you guys have an amazing day wherever you are, and I will see you in my next video. Love you. Bye!